Hello and welcome. In this video, we'll see how to create a SCADA application in iFix and how to open different projects on the same machine. The first step in creating a project is to have a folder where you can save it. For this example, we'll create a folder named 00iFix on the E drive. Creating and configuring projects in iFix is done through the SCU, or the System Configuration Utility. To access the SCU, you can type SCU into the Windows search bar. You can also find the iFix folder in the Start menu and click on the SCU shortcut. Alternatively, you can access it from the iFix Startup shortcut by clicking on SCU. The difference with this method is that it will open the last loaded SCU file in edit mode. Let's open the SCU and go to the Configuration tab. In the Paths section, we'll point to the folder we created earlier. The first two sections, Base and Language, shouldn't be changed as they point to where the iFix software is installed. The ones we need to change are the application paths. To update them, we can click the Browse button in the Project section and find our folder. Once we've selected it, we can click the Change Project button. This will automatically update the rest of the paths. Since this is a new project, it will ask if we want to generate the default files the project needs, and we'll click Yes. Finally, when we click OK, it will ask if we want to create the rest of the folders in our selected directory, so we'll click Yes again. You'll probably see a warning about the Alarm Area database. Just click Proceed and let the process complete. If you want, you can verify that all the folders have been created in your directory. Next, we'll click on File and then Save As. We're going to save our SCU file in the local folder of our project. For this case, we'll name this file app01. When saving the SCU for a new project, it will ask if we want to make this the default app. We'll click Yes. The next step is to go to Local Startup Configuration to set up the node name. The node name is the name assigned to the iFix project we're creating. In our case, we'll call this project app01. The local logical name is the name assigned to the node in case of a redundant application, which doesn't apply to us here. If we check the local node alias option, it will allow us to access tags by using this node instead of the full node name. We'll dive deeper into tags in iFix in future videos, but for now, we'll leave that option checked. Finally, under Configuration File, you need to verify that it is pointing to the SCU file we just created. This is very important, as the application won't start otherwise. Next, let's move to the SCADA section. Under SCADA Support, we have two options, Enable and Disable. The Enable checkbox is used when our application is going to be a server, and Disable is for when it will be a client. When in client mode, Disable, the application won't have its own tag database or communication drivers, as it will read them from the server. In our case, we want to create a server application that contains the communication drivers and the tag database. So we'll check Enable. You can also configure the name for the database. We'll leave it with the default name, Database. Further down, we have the Drivers section. Here we can assign the drivers we want to use for the project. For our case, we'll use IGS, which is an OPC server very similar to Kepware and has many communication protocols. We'll also add the SM2 simulation driver, which will allow us to create local tags in our database. After adding them, click OK and confirm that you want to create the database. Moving on, we have the Network Configuration section. This is where we can decide if the SCADA will be standalone, with no clients, or if it will communicate with other SCADA servers. If you want to communicate with other servers, you would check the TCP/IP option and add the different logical node names of the other SCADAs. You would also need to modify the Windows hosts file to add those names and associate them with an IP address. Let's continue with the other sections. We'll cover the SQL section in future videos. For now, let's skip to the Tasks section. This is where you configure which actions or programs you want to launch when iFix starts. Since our application is a server, 3 tasks appear by default. The I/O control task manages the input and output communication between iFix and the drivers, like IGS or SM2. It acts as the coordinator that receives data from drivers and sends it to the iFix process database, which in our case is named database. It also manages writes to PLC or other field devices. The SAC task, scan, alarm, and control, is the engine responsible for scanning tags, processing alarms, and executing control logic. It's in charge of taking the data from the drivers and populating the tags in the project. We'll cover it in more detail in the next episode dedicated to the iFix database. Finally, the SUMCDEL, or Summary Queue Delete task, manages and cleans up the queues of summarized historical data in iFix. This applies to systems that will be historizing data, as will be our case. These 3 are the basic tasks, but we're also going to add the task that opens the SCADA's graphical environment, known as the Workspace. To configure it, click on the browser, which will take you to the iFix software folder. Here, look for workspace.exe and select it. Then, in Startup mode, select the Normal option. This will make the workspace run maximized. Finally, click Add, and the task will be added to the list. Now, when we start the application, the graphical interface will also launch. It's worth noting that it's good practice to make the Workspace task the last one to start, as this gives iFix time to launch all its auxiliary programs before displaying the application. With this, we have everything we need to create the application. Later, in future videos, we'll see how to configure alarms and security. To finish, we'll save the SCU file again, and make sure to save it in the local folder of our project. To start iFix, we need to open the iFix Startup utility. Here, we must ensure that our SCU file, the one we just saved, is selected. Once we've confirmed that, we have the option to create a startup shortcut. This will allow us to directly launch the application we have configured. I'll create a shortcut that we'll test later. For now, we'll start iFix by clicking the icon. Since we don't have a license in this case, it asks if we want to run in demo mode. Demo mode lets you work and explore all of iFix's features, but after 2 hours, the services will stop running. When that happens, you'll have to close and reopen iFix to get another 2 hours of demo time. Once iFix has finished starting up, we can see the workspace for our application launch. To shut it down, you must close the workspace and go to the iFix Startup window. From here, you can close iFix by clicking the X, or by going to the Options menu and selecting Shutdown iFix. Now, let's cover how to open different projects on the same computer. For this scenario, we have 2 applications on this PC. The one we created earlier, APP01, and a new one we're about to create called APP02. Next, you'll see a time lapse of its creation. If you'd like, you can skip to the next section of the video, where I show how to switch between opening them. Once we have the APP02 application created, since we marked the option for it to be the default app when we saved the SCU, you can see that when we open iFix Startup, the selected app and SCU are indeed for APP02. If we click the icon, the application will start. We can see that APP02 has opened. Now let's close this application and open the one we originally created, APP01. Once iFix has closed, we'll open the iFix Startup shortcut again. The key step here is to change the SCU file path to point to the one for APP01. To do this, click the drop-down menu and select the location where we saved that app's SCU file. Next, we'll also change the node name to APP01, and finally, click the icon to start. As you can see, we have successfully opened APP01. And with that, we've come to the end. I hope you found it useful. Leaving a like and subscribing is the best way to support the channel, and it truly means a lot. Thanks for your time, and I'll see you in the next one.